Seniors' one vital vitamin that keeps your legs strong after 60. Have you ever looked down at your legs and quietly wondered, why do they feel heavier than they used to? Why does standing up from a chair feel like lifting a sandbag? Why do stairs seem to grow steeper overnight, even when it's only 6 or 7 steps? It's tempting to shrug it off and say, well, I'm just getting older. But what if it's not just age? What if something deeper is happening? Something quiet, invisible, and gradual? What if there's a silent thief slowly stealing your strength day after day without ever announcing its presence? And by the time you start to notice, by the time your legs begin to struggle, it's already been at work for years. This isn't science fiction. It's a reality millions of older adults are facing right now, often without even realizing it. Let's talk about Margaret. She was 76 when it began. A proud, independent woman with snow-white hair, soft laughter, and a garden she loved like family. Every morning, she brewed her tea, laced up her shoes, and walked a loop around the neighborhood with her best friend from next door. Every Sunday afternoon, her house echoed with the sound of grandchildren playing, the scent of apple pie, baking, and the warmth of a woman who never stopped moving. But something started to shift. At first, it was subtle. Her legs ached more after yard work. Probably overdid it pulling weeds, she thought. She began gripping the handrail a bit tighter when going upstairs, not because she was scared, just for support. Then came the chair, the one in the living room where she loved to sit and knit. Getting out of it suddenly required a push, a pause, and sometimes a quiet sigh. She didn't tell anyone. Why would she? It all seemed normal, the price of getting older, until one rainy afternoon. She was walking across the kitchen barefoot on the slick tile floor. Her heel slid just an inch. She fell, and everything changed. The pain in her hip healed in time, but the fear didn't. She hesitated before walking across the room. She stopped going on long walks. She said no when the kids wanted to play tag in the backyard. And worst of all, she began to believe that her world had gotten smaller, not because she chose it, but because her body demanded it. Her doctor ran tests. Her heart, fine. Blood pressure, a little high, but nothing unexpected. No major illness, no injuries beyond that one fall. So, what happened? It wasn't a rare condition. It wasn't nerve damage or a degenerative disease. It was something far simpler, something most people don't think about until it's already too late. Margaret was severely deficient in vitamin D. Now, most people think of vitamin D as the sunshine vitamin good for bone health, maybe something your doctor mentions in passing during winter checkups. But what most people, including many seniors, don't realize is this vitamin D is essential for your muscles. It's not just about strong bones. It's about balance, stability, control. It's about the way your muscles contract, hold you steady, and help you move with confidence. It's about whether your legs feel sturdy or shaky, whether getting out of bed is easy or exhausting, whether walking across the room feels automatic or dangerous. Without enough vitamin D, even strong, healthy muscles begin to falter. They fatigue faster, they lose tone, they become less responsive. And most alarming of all, you may not feel it happening until it already has. In the last segment, we uncovered a startling truth. Margaret's struggle wasn't caused by a dramatic illness or sudden injury. It was something quiet, subtle, a silent loss happening beneath the surface, a severe vitamin D deficiency. And that's the nature of this issue. Vitamin D deficiency doesn't announce itself. It doesn't hit like a thunderstorm. It whispers. It creeps in slowly, sometimes over months, even years. It begins with little things. Your legs start to tire faster than usual. You sit down more often. You choose the elevator instead of the stairs, not because you're lazy, but because your body tells you it's just easier that way. You walk less. You rest more. Bit by bit, your muscles shrink. Not from a lack of effort, but from lack of nourishment. And before you realize what's happening, a simple stumble becomes a serious fall. This story is more common than you might think. Every year, millions of older adults lose their independence. Not because of disease, not because of injury, but because their legs quite literally can no longer hold them up. And in many of those cases, there's one root cause hiding underneath, overlooked and untreated, a lack of vitamin D. Now let's be clear, it's not your fault. No one told you this would happen. No one warned Margaret either, but the science is undeniable. So, why does this happen? As we age, our skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight. Even if you spend time outdoors, your body may be making far less than it used to. And let's face it, many of us spend more time indoors as we get older. We wear sunscreen rightfully so we cover our arms and legs, we avoid harsh sun. All of this adds up to less sun exposure and therefore less vitamin D production. Food doesn't help much either, unless you're eating fatty fish like salmon or mackerel several times per week, drinking fortified milk daily, or supplementing intentionally. You may not even be getting half of what your body needs, and it matters more than we've been taught. What the research says, a study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that seniors who took vitamin D supplements regularly had a 23% lower risk of falling. Another study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism showed that older adults with low vitamin D levels had weaker leg muscles, slower walking speeds, and more difficulty rising from a seated position. Let that sink in. Even if you're eating well, staying active, and doing everything right, if your body is missing this one nutrient, your muscles may not be able to respond. It's like trying to build a house without bricks. The intention is there, but the material is missing. The real impact of a fall. We often think of falls as minor accidents, but in older adults, one fall can change everything. A fractured hip, a long hospital stay, months or even years of rehabilitation, and for many, a permanent loss of independence. A study in the New England Journal of Medicine found that vitamin D supplementation reduced the risk of hip fractures by 22%. That number may sound small on paper, but for a senior, especially a woman over 65, it can be life-changing. One simple vitamin taken consistently can change the odds. And yet, most people don't know. The most alarming part, more than 60% of older adults are vitamin D deficient. Many have no idea. Why? Because it doesn't scream. It doesn't come with flashing warning signs. It takes little by little your energy, your mobility, your confidence, until one day standing up becomes harder, your steps become slower, and your world feels a little smaller than it did before. So, how do you know if it's happening to you? You don't need a lab test to start asking important questions. Just listen to your body. Do your legs feel weaker than they used to? Do you feel shaky when standing up or wobbly on stairs? Have you started holding the railing tighter just in case? Do your hips, thighs, or lower back ache, especially after walking or standing? These aren't just signs of aging. They're your body quietly saying something's missing. And that something might be vitamin D. The good news, you can do something about it. And you can start today. The path to restoring strength is not complicated. It doesn't begin with intense workouts or drastic changes. It begins with understanding what's been silently draining your power and nourishing your body with what it truly needs. Let's pause and take a breath together. Because now that we understand the problem, the next step is simple. Let's bring that strength back. In the next part, we'll explore exactly how to replenish vitamin D safely, naturally, and effectively, so you can walk with confidence, move without hesitation, and reclaim the vibrant strength that's still within you. In the last part, we uncovered a truth many seniors never hear. A lack of vitamin D can quietly erode strength balance and independence without ever causing obvious symptoms. The good news, the path to rebuilding your strength doesn't require complicated routines or expensive treatments. In fact, the very first step may be right outside your door. Let's talk about something beautifully simple: sunlight. Yes, the sun. That warm, golden light that streams through the kitchen window while you sip your morning tea. The soft glow that touches your face during a gentle walk through the garden. The same sun that rose and set over every memory you hold through childhood summers, family vacations, and quiet afternoons on the porch. Sunlight holds something many of us have forgotten: power. Not the harsh kind that burns or blinds, but the quiet, healing kind. Because your skin was designed to produce vitamin D naturally when exposed to UVB rays from the sun. It's the most efficient way your body creates the vitamin D it needs to support strong muscles, stable bones, and balanced movement. But there's a catch. As we age, this beautiful process becomes less efficient. By the time you're in your 70s, your skin makes only about 25% of the vitamin D it did in your 20s, even with the same amount of sun exposure. That's a 7% drop, a major loss over time. And then there's the way we live. Understandably, many older adults avoid the sun. We've been warned about skin cancer, about sun damage, about wrinkles, so we stay indoors. We cover our arms and legs, We wear wide-brimmed hats, apply SPF generously, and protect ourselves. All of this matters, but it also means we may be missing out on one of nature's most powerful health tools. So, how much sunlight do you really need? Experts recommend 20 to 30 minutes of sunlight 3 to 4 times per week, with your arms and legs exposed when possible. This helps your body produce a meaningful amount of vitamin D naturally. The best time of day, between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., when the sun's UVB rays are strongest. But this doesn't mean lying out in the sun for hours or risking sunburn. Even a gentle stroll in your garden, some light stretching in the driveway, or simply sitting near a sunny window with your sleeves rolled up can make a difference. And of course, if you have sensitive skin, a history of skin cancer, or other health concerns, talk to your doctor first before adjusting your sun exposure. But what if you live in a place where sunlight is limited? What if it's winter cloudy or you're not able to go outside easily? That's where nutrition steps in. Food sources of vitamin D. Fortunately, there are delicious ways to support your vitamin D levels through your plate. 1. Fatty fish, salmon, mackerel. Sardines, tuna, these are some of the richest natural sources of vitamin D. Just one 3.5-ounce serving of cooked salmon can provide over 500 IU of vitamin D, close to the full daily recommendation. As a bonus, these fish are also high in omega-3 fatty acids, which support heart health, brain function, and mood stability. 2 egg yolks. One large egg yolk provides around 40 IU of vitamin D. While that may not seem like much if you eat eggs regularly and combine them with other sources, it adds up. 3. Fortified foods. These are everyday foods that have vitamin D added during processing. Look for milk yogurt cheese, almond milk, soy, milk oat milk. Make sure the label says fortified with vitamin D. Breakfast cereals, margarine, orange juice. Just be mindful of sugar content when choosing cereals or juices. 4. Mushrooms. Yes, mushrooms. They're one of the only plant-based sources of vitamin D, but only if they've been exposed to sunlight. Look for mushrooms labeled UV exposed or vitamin D enhanced. These are often portobello or maitake mushrooms that have been treated with natural sunlight or UVB light to increase their vitamin D content. Toss them into your omelets, stir-fries, or soups for a satisfying boost. And still, sometimes it's not enough. Even with sunshine and a nutrient-rich diet, many older adults still don't meet their body's full needs for vitamin D. Why absorption declines with age? Certain medications like steroids or anti-seizure drugs can interfere with vitamin D metabolism. And most importantly, even the best diets often don't provide enough consistently. That's where supplements come in. Understanding vitamin D supplements, D2 versus D3. There are 2 main forms of vitamin D found in supplements. 1. Vitamin D2 ergocalciferol, derived from plant sources like mushrooms, less potent and not as long-lasting in the body. 2. Vitamin D3 cholecalciferol, usually derived from animal sources or synthesized from lanolin, more effective at raising and maintaining vitamin D levels in the bloodstream, preferred by most health professionals, especially for older adults. If you're choosing a supplement, many experts recommend taking vitamin D3 ideally combined with vitamin K2 to ensure proper calcium utilization and heart health protection. In the last section, we explored how vitamin D from sunlight food and supplements can help restore strength and mobility. But for many older adults, supplements are often the key to making real progress. Now let's look at how to do that safely and effectively. Here's the part most people overlook. Not all vitamin D is created equal. If you're shopping for a supplement, you'll usually find 2 types on the label: vitamin D2 and vitamin D3. They may sound similar, but there's a big difference in how your body uses them. Vitamin D3 is the form your body prefers. It's more bioavailable, meaning your body absorbs and uses it more efficiently. D3 also stays in your system longer, helping to maintain stable levels over time. For that reason, when choosing a vitamin D supplement, always look for D3 on the label, not D2. So, how much should you take? That depends on a few factors: your age, health history, sun exposure, and current vitamin D levels. But here are some general guidelines from the National Institutes of Health. Adults age 50 to 70 at least 600 IU per day. Adults aged over 7,800 to 2,000 IU per day. Now, some people, especially those who are severely deficient, may require more at least temporarily. That's why the safest and smartest first step is to get tested. Ask your doctor for a 25-hydroxyvitamin D blood test. This is the most accurate way to determine how much vitamin D is actually circulating in your body. The results will give you a clear starting point and help your provider develop a personalized supplement plan, something that's especially important if you're taking medications or have chronic conditions. But don't stop there. Vitamin D has a silent partner. Here's something you might not know. Vitamin D can't do its job properly without magnesium. Think of magnesium as the key that unlocks the door. Without it, your body can't activate the vitamin D you absorb, whether it comes from food supplements or sunlight. That's right. You could be taking the right amount of vitamin D, but if your magnesium is low, your body might not be using it effectively. Unfortunately, many older adults don't get enough magnesium through diet alone. And since blood tests for magnesium can be misleading, most magnesium is stored in tissues, not blood. This deficiency often goes unnoticed. So, where can you get more magnesium? Thankfully, magnesium is found in a variety of wholesome, delicious foods. Leafy greens like spinach, Swiss chard, and kale, nuts such as almonds, cashews, and Brazil nuts, seeds like pumpkin sunflower and chia, whole grains including brown rice oatmeal and quinoa, dark chocolate, yes, even that in moderation. If you're still coming up short, magnesium supplements may help, especially forms like magnesium glycinate or magnesium citrate, which tend to be better absorbed and gentler on the stomach. But always consult your healthcare provider before adding new supplements to your routine. Let's pause for a moment. By now, you may be thinking, that's a lot of information. And yes, it can feel like that at first. But remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about progress, about listening to your body, about giving yourself what you need, not all at once, but one choice at a time. You don't have to overhaul everything. Start simple. Step outside and feel the sun on your skin for a few extra minutes. Add a serving of salmon sardines or an egg to your plate. Ask your doctor about checking your vitamin D levels. Consider a supplement along with a few magnesium-rich foods like a handful of almonds or sautéed spinach. Because when you combine these small steps, you're doing more than taking vitamins. You're restoring function, you're rebuilding strength, you're lowering your risk of falls before they happen, and maybe most importantly, you're reclaiming your confidence. How strength returns, a timeline of healing. So you've started. You've begun walking in the sunlight again. Maybe you've added a few servings of salmon or fortified yogurt to your meals. Maybe you're taking a daily vitamin D3 supplement, and perhaps you've even added some magnesium-rich foods to your diet. At first, these might feel like tiny changes, but make no mistake, they matter. From the moment you begin something, shifts inside your body. Not with a bang, not overnight, but quietly, gently, layer by layer, day by day. And just as vitamin D deficiency crept in without a sound, healing often arrives the same way. So what can you expect? Let's walk through it not as a rigid medical timeline, but as a journey of renewal, a chance to rediscover what strength feels like, not just physically, but emotionally, in the first 1-2 weeks. The changes are subtle. You may not notice them right away, but many people begin to feel fewer nighttime leg cramps, slightly steadier footing when standing up, a bit more clarity in thought or mood. These are small signs, but they're meaningful. They signal that your body is starting to respond. Your muscles are beginning to receive the support they've been missing. And the message is simple: you're giving me what I need. I'm waking up again. In the previous section, we explored how something as small as a daily dose of vitamin D paired with sunlight, food, and magnesium can start quietly rebuilding strength. And now you may be wondering, how long until I feel a difference? Let's walk through what happens when you stay consistent day after day, week after week, because while healing may begin slowly, its effects become real, powerful, and deeply personal. Weeks 1 to 2. Subtle shifts. At first, the changes may be small, so small you might second-guess them. That deep soreness you used to feel in your thighs after a short walk or finishing the laundry, it starts to fade. You may notice your legs don't cramp as often at night. Getting up from your recliner or climbing the stairs feels a little less effortful. And then, something even quieter begins to change your sleep. It may become deeper, more restful. You wake up not necessarily bouncing with energy, but with less heaviness in your limbs. Maybe you take that first stretch of the morning and think, that didn't hurt. That's your body responding. That's restoration beginning. By the end of the first month, now the change starts to feel noticeable. That unexplained fatigue you used to brush off as just getting older, it starts to lift. You find yourself walking more, not because you have to, but because you want to. The sluggishness in your legs eases. Your muscles feel more responsive, almost like they've remembered how to move smoothly again. You start standing up with more ease. You grip the handrail less tightly. Your confidence returns not just in your body, but in your everyday routines. The third month transformation, this is when it becomes undeniable. The shaky legs that once made you nervous now feel firm and steady beneath you. Your posture improves. Your balance is better. Your steps feel more certain, not rushed, not cautious, but calm and secure. And here's the science to back it up. A study published in the Journal of Endocrinology found that after just 12 weeks of consistent vitamin D supplementation, older adults experienced a 35% increase in muscle strength, a 31% reduction in the risk of falls. Let that sink in. That's not just numbers on a page. That's the difference between holding on to a walker and walking down your driveway with a steady stride. The difference between fearing your front steps and going out to check the mail with confidence. The difference between being dependent and feeling free. But here's the truth. Healing isn't a straight line. Some days you'll feel stronger, more awake, more like you. Other days you might feel the same or even a little off. And that's okay. This isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. Because here's what many people don't realize. If you stop halfway, if you let the routine fade, if you skip your supplements or forget to eat nourishing meals, your body slowly begins to slip backward. The gains you made, the balance, the strength, the clarity can start to fade. So don't chase fast results. Instead, remind yourself each day, this is not a sprint. This is a promise, a daily commitment to care for the one body you've been given. Your body is always speaking to you. It speaks in the way your legs feel after standing, in the ease or struggle of putting on your shoes, in your mood, your sleep, your appetite, your energy, even in your outlook on life. And yes, your mood matters, because vitamin D doesn't just strengthen your muscles, it also plays a powerful role in mental health. Low levels of vitamin D have been linked to sadness and low mood, increased anxiety, feelings of fogginess or fatigue. Many older adults feel down or withdrawn without understanding why. They think it's just loneliness, or aging, or stress. But sometimes it's something biochemical. Sometimes it's a nutrient deficiency. And when that deficiency is corrected, the fog begins to lift, the heaviness eases, hope returns, laughter comes back more easily. You feel lighter, not just in body, but in spirit. And isn't that what we all want, to feel lighter, to feel free? To enjoy life again, not just endure it. To walk outside and feel the wind on your face without fearing a fall. To kneel in the garden and not need help getting up. To dance in your kitchen with your grandchild and not have to sit down halfway through the song. These are the real victories. Not just stronger legs, but a stronger life. Not just physical balance, but emotional balance. A steadiness of mind, heart, and soul. And it's not out of reach. You don't have to be a fitness expert. You don't need a perfect diet or an expensive personal trainer. You don't need to fix everything overnight. You just need to keep going one steady step at a time. Because this journey isn't just about preventing another fall. It's about rising with strength, confidence, and grace into the next chapter of your life. In the last section, we walked through how strength returns slowly day by day, how your body, when nourished properly with sunlight, food, and key nutrients like vitamin D and magnesium, begins to remember how to feel good again. Now comes the most important part, how to keep that progress going. Because starting is only the beginning. Staying with it, that's where the real transformation happens. What you do each day, no matter how small, has more power than what you do once in a while. A few minutes of morning sunlight, a single serving of salmon, one magnesium-rich snack, a daily supplement taken with intention. These simple acts, repeated consistently, are how we move forward, not with pressure, not with perfection, but with patience, with rhythm, with quiet determination. Part 4. Turning knowledge into daily strength. You've come this far, you now understand what vitamin D deficiency can do. not just to your bones, but to your muscles, your balance, your energy, your freedom. You've seen where to find it in the gentle warmth of morning sunlight, in wholesome foods that nourish from the inside out, and in the right supplements tailored to your needs. And maybe you've already started to feel what happens when you begin restoring it. Your legs feel more stable. You catch yourself moving with a bit more ease. Your mood lightens. Even your thoughts feel clearer. But here's the truth. The real power lies not in what you've learned, but in what you choose to do next. Because healing isn't a single event. It's not a sudden fix. It's a habit, a daily practice, a quiet promise to care for your body, to show up for it, not just on good days, but especially on the hard ones. So let's talk about how to make this last. Let's talk about how to take everything you now know and turn it into a way of life. Don't break the chain. It's easy to start something. The hard part, keeping it going. Maybe it's a walk outside to catch a little sun. Maybe it's remembering to take your vitamin D supplement with breakfast. Maybe it's preparing a meal with fish eggs or fortified dairy. Whatever the habit is, make it part of your daily rhythm. Write it down. Stick a note on the fridge. Set a reminder on your phone. Ask a friend or loved one to check in. Because one missed day becomes two. Two skipped days become a week. And soon, the tiredness begins to return. The heaviness creeps back in. And the energy you worked so hard to rebuild, it quietly slips away. But when you stay with it, when you turn these small steps into your daily rhythm, something powerful begins to happen. Your body doesn't need perfection. It needs consistency. Track your progress. Another thing that helps, pay attention. Notice how you feel week by week. Keep a little notebook if that works for you. Or even just make a few mental notes. Circle the days you felt strong. Underline the days you felt tired. Look for the patterns. You'll start connecting the dots. You'll realize, today I stood up from the couch without pushing off with my hands. I walked farther than usual and didn't need to stop halfway. I smiled more today. I laughed at something small, and it felt good. That's not just coincidence. That's vitamin D at work. That's you at work. It's never too late. Now let's address something many people feel but rarely say out loud. Isn't it too late for me? Maybe you've struggled for years. Maybe you're in your 70s, your 80s, even your 90s. Maybe you've heard voices, doctors, family members, even your own inner critic saying, "That's just aging. There's nothing you can do." But here's the truth. That's a lie. A story we've been told. And you don't have to believe it anymore. Because your body, it still listens. It still responds. It still heals. Even now. Even if you've been sedentary, even if you've had setbacks, even if you're just starting today, you can still grow stronger. You can still move with confidence. You can still feel good in your body, not like the person you used to be, but like the strongest version of the person you are now. So take a breath. Look at how far you've already come. Then take one more small step forward. Because this isn't just about vitamin D. It's about hope. About building strength from the inside out. One ray of sun, one meal, one choice at a time. And the strength you're building, it isn't just for your muscles, it's for your life. We've spent the last few pages walking through the quiet power of vitamin D, how it supports your strength, steadies your steps, and clears the fog from your body and mind. We've seen how your muscles, your balance, even your confidence can begin to return not all at once, but little by little when you give your body what it's been missing. And now we arrive at the most important truth of all. You can still reclaim your independence, but only if you take that first step. So let's come back to the question we started with. Are you getting enough vitamin D? If you've never had your levels checked, ask your doctor. It's a simple blood test, a test that could prevent months or even years of struggle. It's called the 25-hydroxyvitamin D test, and it gives you the clarity to act with purpose instead of guessing in the dark. And if you already know you're low, don't wait. Don't let hesitation rob you of another season of strength. Take the supplement. Open the curtain. Step into the sun, even for just 10 minutes. Add salmon eggs, fortified milk, or UV-exposed mushrooms to your meals. Pair it with magnesium-rich greens like spinach or whole grains like quinoa and brown rice. And most importantly, keep going. Because strength doesn't vanish overnight, and it doesn't return overnight either. But it does return if you let it. With each new day, your body can feel more awake, more steady, more alive. You don't have to get it all right. You just have to begin and then keep choosing health again and again and again. You deserve that. Your body deserves that. Your future depends on that. So ask yourself this: when was the last time you truly felt strong, not just in your muscles, but in your spirit? When was the last time you looked in the mirror and saw someone who could rely on their body again? Someone whose legs weren't trembling beneath them, but holding them steady. You can have that again. And it doesn't start with perfection. It starts with a decision not to let this message end here, not to let this video be something you watch and forget, but to let it be the spark, a beginning. Because your story isn't finished, your body still listens, your strength still answers. So choose strength, choose sunlight, choose nourishment, choose movement, choose you. And if this message moved you, if it made you think of someone you care about, someone who feels tired, weak, or unsure on their feet, share it. Because too many people are suffering quietly, not realizing that the answer might be as simple as a vitamin. You could be the reason someone catches the warning signs in time. You could be the reason someone stays strong enough to keep walking. You could be the reason someone gets back up and keeps going. And if you haven't yet, take a moment to subscribe to Life After 60 today. This is where we share truths that matter, stories that lift you, and tools to help you live not just longer, but stronger. Every week, every video, every word created with care to walk beside you. Now in the comments below, tell us, what will you do differently today? Have you checked your vitamin D levels? Have you started feeling steadier, stronger, or clearer in your mind? Let's support one another because healing happens best when we don't walk alone. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for taking your health seriously. And most of all, thank you for choosing strength. Because no matter your age, you have more power than you think. And no matter what yesterday looked like, your story is far from over.